with a little bit of what if scenarios, right? And I know people be doing these verses, and I always seem kind of corny to me, but this is someplace it really doesn't seem corny to me, and it's not just because I'm doing it, right? I was just thinking about if the Viltrumite Empire existed in a realm where the Asgardians existed. First of all, would they pull up? Would the Viltrumites make a decision to invade Asgard? And I think unequivocally, we all know the answer is yes. I think they have no issues pulling up on Asgard, and I'm taking them at their full strength. I'm taking them even prior to the scourge plague that like decimates them. Right. I'm taking the Viltrumite Empire at full strength versus Asgard as an empire at full strength. Like its full complexities is the nine realms, right? And I think there's some magic in this battle right here because there's a couple of areas we really got to look at. Like first of all, we see some very different like kind of core like there's some differences in the core identities, but there's some similarities. These are both invasive, like these are both some empires that have done some invading, right? Like Asgard is built more as an invading empire than as a defensive empire. They're not necessarily that, although they've been stockpiling lots of weapons and lots of warriors. Like their mindset is still far more like we go out and handle threats versus letting threats get to our door. Like I know every year Odin goes to sleep and they come there and that takes place. But if they could avoid that shit, they would, right? They're simply not doing it, okay? So I'm looking at these two empires and like, this is kind of how I see this going down. Like I could see the Viltrumites coming in with a heart attack, right? Like this is how they roll. They've decided it. We're not going to roll up and talk about it. We want to catch you, not paying attention or slipping, as some people would say, right? This is like the kind of the young guys would say right now, caught you slipping, right? And you don't want to be slipping. We're not with these Viltrumites because they have the ability to bring forth a devastating frontal attack, right? Almost on any level. Each one of these Viltrumites is a planetary level threat. And again, with Asgard, we're not necessarily just talking about planets, we're talking about realms. So there is some difference there. And I do understand that the way that the Asgardians travel, right, that's something, their ability to go to all these nine realms is a key to their power as well, right? So this is going to be something interesting because the Viltrumites would have to adopt this technology. Do the Viltrumites, you know what I'm saying? Is your mecha because they move these amazing fleets around, right? But can they move? Can they break dimensional barriers, right? So this is something we kind of got to assume if they're in this structural battle. But this is one of the real strengths of the Asgardians, right? And the advantage of the Asgardians is really going to be some stuff that's around the kind of the realm of magic. Like I get that they're going to be in some enchanted stuff, but the problem is that they still have some regular like grounded weaknesses and vulnerabilities, right? And a lot of that is based around their social structure. Because Asgard itself has been an invading force, they got a lot of enemies out there, man. They got a lot of enemies out there. In fact, like the Asgardians, like here's something fundamental I'm gonna point out to you about the Viltrumite culture and the Asgardian culture. Right now, I know when we get into talking about like real Asgardian culture, a lot of this stuff is just destiny. So you have to have these guys around, right? You have to keep Loki around, right? Even though you see him as a threat, right? And you're never recognized. Like in Viltrumite culture, again, I don't care if it's fate or whatever, they would have killed Loki a long time ago. Like that, they would have ended that threat, right? Like we can all agree that there would not be an internal inside of our house threat like Loki. Like the Asgardians have that, and that's a major risk factor. And again, I want to talk about it in the context that okay, some of this stuff is just contextual for Ragnarok. But I'm saying if the Viltrumites are looking at you like some lunch meat they want to eat, they're gonna look at the fact that you've got like some real spies inside. You got a lot of enemies, frost giants. I'm sure the storm giants are mad about something that you did to them a long time ago, right? All the nine realms except for Earth. We're kind of the I guess the Vanir, right? Earth, we're cool with Asgard, obviously, although most of us don't really know about them. But the ones who do know about them are cool with Asgard, okay? And the Vanir. You have fights with the Vanir, so apparently you guys are cool now, okay? There's still like six other realms out there. There's 6 other realms out there, and I bet you're gonna go 6 for 6 on if you got beef with each one of those realms. Okay, so you got a lot, right? So the Viltrumites, they got a lot of enemies too. I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying they don't, but they've also built up some of their forces. Like, I don't know if you built up your forces beyond Asgardians when that fight goes down. Maybe the Vanir, I'm sure they fight, but like from what I know about them, I don't think they fight that well, right? So I think that's something that you got to be dealing with right off the bat. Is that component, okay? And the Viltrumites, like, so it comes to like tactical styles, like Thrag. Okay, so really we're lining up Thrag and Odin. I think now, obviously, Odin is much more powerful being in some respects, right? Much wiser, probably more intelligent, but Thrag gets to operate in a lot more straight lines because he doesn't have to worry about. He ain't really worry about his people. He worry about his people in general. Viltrum in general. He don't really care about anybody individually. He ain't loving nobody. At least I didn't see that Thrag was like gooey eyed about anybody. Whereas Odin, you got people you gotta protect, man. Like when Balder got killed, y'all was shook, man. Y'all was shook, man. You know what I'm saying? Like because you got more human emotions. You're more emotional than Thrag and them are. And I think in war against these cats, I guess is a problem. And again, Odin, because you've always been invading other people's lands, you've always been like rolling up on the frost giants, stuff like that, right? You're used to just like going after it, being the initiators. I don't think you do that with these Viltrumites, and that's not gonna happen, right? Like so you're up against it, right? Because I really would see Viltrum, like Viltrum has also got some amazing fleets, got some advanced technology. They got a lot going on. They got some of the other empires they conquered are fighting for them. So there's a lot to that when they roll up on you, and they can strike on multiple fronts. They can strike on staggered or sequence multiple fronts to create fires. Like you're gonna have to. So there's only one Thor, right? Okay, so we know Thor. Thor on an individual level, I don't know how we're ranking Thor versus like, you know, a standard Viltrumite, like or maybe even one of the top tier Viltrumites. Okay, now I'm saying if we're talking kind of Superman tier abilities, they're not falling much further below him as being a divine being. And so if Thor gets jumped by like two of these Viltrumites, 3 of these Viltrumites, is Thor necessarily coming out of that? If they like, because this is how the Viltrumites are going to move. Like they can go head up army to army with you. I believe they can go head up army to army with you. So when you roll up with your armies, like everybody in your army ain't magic, right? Not everybody in the army has a magical weapon. Like I know you got some magical weapons out there, but depending on where this front's taking place, right? Who do you have on the field at that time? And I think your armies, like in the Viltrumite armies, what they have, okay, it's a fight. It's not just going to be you guys running over them, right? Now, obviously, you got to deal with the top tier beings. You're going to have to deal with Odin. You're going to have to deal with Thor. Now, right off the bat, this is the Viltrumite strategy on Thor, right? I'm going to leverage your emotions. And I know you got a girlfriend on Earth, okay? This is the first thing. This is why Earth always gets up, because everybody got a girlfriend on Earth, but you out here starting nonsense with these cosmic beings, right? So Thor, I got leverage on you right now, homie. Like right off the bat, right? And just Earth in general, because you guys are protectors for Earth. I need to kind of spread you guys off, right? And I gotta kind of manipulate to get your enemies kind of working against you, right? Like I'm definitely talking to the Frost Giants. If I launch an attack on Earth, I need you guys to launch an attack somewhere in the other 9 realms, right? Like this is simultaneous attacks because we want it to be devastating. And the thing about Odin, man, like the reason I want to spread Odin out because this dude is old, right? Like not that I'm against old people in any kind of way. I'm just saying, as I get older, I begin sleepier faster too. That's just what it is. We are not all LeBron, okay? We're not all Braun, all right? Some of us be getting tired. You know, you going off in game 6 in the playoffs at 41, right? The rest of us aren't able to do that, including Odin. Odin can't go back-to-back games like that, right, anymore. He has to get what they call the Odin sleep. And you know who doesn't need the Odin sleep? Thrag. Thrag doesn't need the Odin sleep. So as soon as you go to sleep, that's when Thrag's going to really move on you guys. So this is too wide open, okay? Now, like I said, we isolate Thor because I think Thor is vulnerable. Yeah, I know they call you a divine creature. I don't know if Viltrumites would call you a divine creature, right? Like you know what I'm saying? We're giving you gods here. I don't know if they see you with that same level of respect, right? So this is what it is. Like we got some core differences, and everybody ain't magical up in Viltrum, and you can be separated from that hammer as well. So now we're talking about two realms really, really getting after it, and I'm just telling you guys right now. Now, look, would I see Asgard making it out of this? I could see that. I could see, you know, Odin pulling something out, some kind of weapon or some something to be a complete game changer with this. I'm not above that. I'm not above some of the Asgardian weaponry being just like elite level to the point that the Viltrums can't even deal with that. I can absolutely see that. I'm simply saying let's not play these Viltrumites off foul, because if they catch you during an Odin sleep, they're able to get in and maybe get control of the city, control of a significant amount of hostages or populations. Isolate Thor. I think Thor can be taken out, right? I think it changes the map for these guys. And I think there's so many of them at their peak again. I'm taking them at their peak where their numbers were much higher. And I think if these guys roll up on Asgard, Asgard's like, uh-oh, I was hoping this wasn't going to happen. Because I know, Odin, I know you'd be seeing the future and all that stuff. I know you're out there in the future. You're reading ruins and all that stuff. So you might be like, man, I hope these Viltrumites don't roll up here. Because if they do roll up on here, it's a bigger problem than I think you want to give it credit for. So I'm just kind of throwing it out there. Give me your thoughts. Am I hit? Did the Viltrums get it done or not? Like, tell me what your thoughts on this. Tell me where I'm wrong on this one, right? Because maybe you got a better strategy than what I do. But I'm just looking at Asgard. I'm like, man, y'all look mad vulnerable if the Viltrumites roll up on you, man. I'm just saying, homie. I'm just saying that this could be a problem you need to be ready for.